whose bones live beneath the earth we stand on, and honor the indigenous of wherever we reside, visit, or hope to place our futures. So without further ado, I introduce to you this evening an ancestor in training, Canyon Coyote woman, and Lyla June for an opening ceremony.
Mishmin Tulhis, Kanrakad Canyon, Coyote Woman, Sarah's Roots. I am so honored to share this space with a sister warrior. I was like, yeah, I'm an ancestor in training. We all are ancestors in training, caring and thinking about how our actions and our words affect the next generations in the future. So we want our young ones, our future ones to look back and say, they're beautiful ancestors. So right now, we acknowledge that we are in Huchin, the Chichenyo Ohlone territory. I am a Southern Ohlone. I come from Indian Canyon Nation. I am the daughter of Tribal Chairwoman Anne Marie Sayers, and I am blessed to be able to proudly say that my umbilical cord is buried on the land, my mother's umbilical cord is buried on the land, my grandmother's umbilical cord is buried on the land, and I am on the land of my grandmother's 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 grandmothers. So I am blessed to live on the land of my ancestors. And right now, we're acknowledging Indigenous protocol by recognizing we're in Huchin, Chichenyo Ohlone territory. But we are Ama Piritakawas. Can you say that with me? Ama Piritakawas. We are people of this land. You just said some Mutsun words. Before English, before Spanish was spoken, that's the land of my ancestors. A little further south of here. But coming from a matrilineal society, my mother and my grandmother believe that when song, ceremony, and dancing stops, so does the earth. I too believe that. And so with that energy in mind and this amazing performance coming after this opening, I'm just honored to share a grandmother song. To honor our grandmothers, their grandmothers, and an all Mother Earth. For without them and without her, we would not be here. We share this time and space together for a reason. So it's with that humility, that gratitude, that present-mindedness that I offer this song in this space here today. And with a little solidarity, if you all can hear me say, oh. Oh. At the end of prayers and songs, sending them up with a good oh is a good way to be like, yeah, we're in solidarity. It's a hint after the song. So this is Canyon's grandmother song, and I'm going to improvise with my regalia, my medicine, to also be my instrument. So I also share that this is a song that came to me differently than it was taught. So I learned a traditional Chumash grandmother song with an elder, and I couldn't sing it alone without him. And so I had called him up saying, is this the grandmother song? And I sang it to him. He's like, no, but that's your song. So since then, I always announce that the song came to me differently than was taught. So this is to our grandmothers. So, Canyon's grandmother song. Moi moi o kawano, moi moi o ka, moi moi no, moi moi o ko, moi moi o ne. acknowledging Indigenous protocol, that so many people are becoming familiar with what it means to decolonize, how we engage, and our participants in continuing the efforts of just becoming familiar with these spaces and places that we occupy in today's post-colonial settler society. So, to you for decolonizing. I'm so honored to share space with this amazing warrior, this badass, this amazing being, just so vibrant. Because I was just on stage at Pioneers holding it down. I'm just honored that Climbing Poetry is holding it down. Beautiful, amazing beings, powerful. And all of us are sharing a similar message, that we can come together, that we can celebrate our diversity, we can recognize and be humble in our spaces, and as well as come in bringing that unity to community. And so whenever you go to different spaces, become familiar with those native peoples of those lands, become familiar with those histories and the living beings who are living legacies of resilience and resistance. We all come from Indigenous communities. We all have Indigenous roots from no matter where we are, because all of our ancestors came from this land. When we honor our ancestors and we think about the impact our words and our actions have towards the future generations, we could solve the world's problems. So I'm so glad we're all coming together in a good way, and a big ode to our sister here. I want to thank you. I'm Canyon Coyote woman, hanging out with the roaming Ohlone, and this is gonna be beautiful.
Wait. We gotta check out that roaming Ohlone again. Alright, this little guy, he really does roam everywhere. Does he have an Instagram?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Hashtag roaming Ohlone, no spaces.
Roaming Ohlone. He goes all over the place with Canyon. He leads her everywhere.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, nanisht trachi in the shlino haska did the bashishi Lyla June dashijine Taos New Mexico de nasha akwit ega denas initially happy to be here. I'm glad I followed Canyon, because I'm not actually indigenous to this land. I'm indigenous to what they now call New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, but we call it Denebakia. So yeah, I guess the only thing I could add to that is just that, thank you, Shea, for arranging it such that the first peoples of this land could speak first. And I guess to add to that, how can we be like the overachievers that we are, and not only invite the First Nations to speak first, but also perhaps live our daily lives in that manner as guests in her home. There's this wonderful thing called the Coyote Land Trust. Has anyone not heard of that? All right, that's pretty cool. All right, almost everyone knows about this. So it's a wonderful project here. Has anyone not heard of the Shumi land tax? Shumi land tax. Wow, quite a few people know about it. So the Shumi land tax is a way that you can pay your rent to the Ohlone people for living on their land. And at the Coyote Land Trust website, you can calculate the percentage of your income. It ranges from I want to say 30 a month to 100 a month. It's not a whole lot, but when we all do it together, that funds their projects to bring trout back into the rivers, that funds their projects to build roundhouses and to reestablish the original flora and fauna, because this land didn't used to look like this. There were no eucalyptuses, there were no, a lot of things, and bring the acorns back. And so just to bring this spirit of honoring the Ohlone beyond this room, and do what you can to assist. And one surefire way to help Indigenous communities is to simply go to them, whether it's Canyon or even different elders in the community, and just say, how can I help? And see what they say. And I'm sure that they would appreciate that. So, and follow that lead. So anyways, just honored to be here. I'll be performing later on tonight.
Yes!
You guys are so sweet. And I think with that, I'll hand it back to you, or whoever the MC is, and just thank you all for being here tonight. And I'm looking forward to some beautiful music. So give it up one more time for yourselves.